درود و سلام کی محفل سجی ہوئی ہے، درود و سلام کی مدحت سرائی ہوگی امام انعام کی۔ بزم علی میں آ کے شگفتہ ہوا دماغ، بزم علی میں آ کے شگفتہ ہوا دماغ، خوشبو یہاں میں پا گیا دارالسلام کی۔ ایسا کیا علی نے ہے کعبے کو پاک و صاف، ایسا کیا علی نے ہے کعبے کو پاک و صاف، تسبیح بت پڑھنے لگے ہیں حق امام کی۔ ماہ رجب کی 13ویں ہے آج مومنوں، ماہ رجب کی 13ویں ہے آج مومنوں، بزم خوشی سجی ہے بڑے دھوم دھام کی۔ اسپیشل محسن بھائی آپ کے لیے۔ حب علی سے ہو گیا معمور جس کا دل، حب علی سے ہو گیا معمور جس کا دل، لذت جہاں کے پا گیا وہ کوثر کے جام کی۔ ابھی بندے تھوڑے سے ابھی بھی پیچھے پیچھے بیٹھے ہیں، بالکل ممبر کے قریب آئیں گے تب میں مولانا صاحب کو بلاؤں گا۔ پر محمد وآل محمد صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم۔ بھائی آپ تو جوان ہیں، آپ کو تو جاننا چاہیے، داد دینی چاہیے مولانا صاحب۔ پر محمد وآل محمد صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم۔ میں دعوت دیتا ہوں قبلہ مولانا مشرف حسین حسینی صاحب کہ وہ ممبر پر تشریف لائیں اور جناب امیر المومنین علیہ السلام کے ذال جان فرمائیں۔ آپ بلند تر صلوات پڑھ دیں۔
فرصتوں سے بنا کے علی کی شک، خدا نے اپنے آپ کو دیکھا بڑے غرور سے، بلند تر صلوات۔
سب سے پہلے میں کہوں گا ذرا ایزی ہو کے بیٹھے، کوئی پرابلم والی بات نہیں ہے، اور کوئی صرف ذہن، سوچ، فکر، آنکھیں اور اپنی میموری کو ہماری طرف لگا رہے ہیں، باقی انشاءاللہ جن کا جشن منا رہے ہیں انشاءاللہ جشن ہوا جو کہ ذہن میں پیوست ہو جائے، اور کوئی کچھ کرنے کی ضرورت نہیں ہے۔ ہمارے تقریروں کا یہ جتنی ہم گفتگو کرتے رہتے ہیں، صرف مقصد یہ ہے کہ سوچ اور فکر کو بدلنا ضروری ہے۔ سوچ اور فکر میں اگر کوئی تبدیلی آ گئی تو سمجھ لے کہ وہی ہماری داد ہے اور وہی ہمارا مقصد ہے اور وہی سب کچھ ہے ہونا۔ پروردگار عالم ہمارے وجود کو نور مقدس سے حضرت زہرا سے منور فرمائے۔ صلوات پڑھتے محمد رب ذوالجلال ہماری گناہگار آنکھوں کو زیارت امام الزمان نصیب فرمائے۔ بار دیگر صلوات پڑھ دیں محمد وآل محمد۔ اور پھر جن عزیزان کے انتقال کا اعلان کیا گیا پروگرام کے آغاز میں، بالخصوص آغا اسرار اور مولانا غلام شبیری کے والد گرامی اور برادر ابرار کے والد گرامی، جو ہمارے لیے بھی بہت ہی قابل احترام تھے اور ہماری بڑی یادیں ان کے ساتھ وابستہ ہیں، ان کا بھی انتقال ہوا ہے۔ سب کے لیے سورہ فاتحہ پڑھ دیجیے۔ پھر اس دعا کے ساتھ کہ پروردگار عالم ہمیں خضوع و خشوع و خلوص اور طہارت ظاہری اور باطنی سے بھرپور ایک ایسی محفل برگزار کرنے کی توفیق عنایت فرمائے جہاں پہ حضرت زہرا تشریف لاتی ہیں۔ ایک بار پھر صلوات پڑھ دیجیے محمد لا حول ولا قوة الا باللہ العلی العظیم۔ بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم۔ الحمد لله رب العالمين الحمد لله كما هو أهله والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين حبيب إله العالمين نبينا وشفيعنا والطبيب قلوبنا أبي القاسم محمد
اللهم صل على محمد
وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين واللعنة الدائمة على أعدائهم أعداء الدين أما بعد فقد قال الله تعالى في كلامه المجيد بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لله العزة ولرسوله وللمؤمنين صلوات محمد وعلى محمد
اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد
इंग्लिश में या उर्दू में इंग्लिश और उर्दू दोनों होने चाहिए ठीक सलवात पढ़ दे मोहम्मद वाले मोहम्मद
اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد
Ayah Sharif of the Holy Book of Quran that I recited, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, لِلَّهِ الْعِزَّةِ وَلِرَسُولِهِ وَلِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ. Izzat, respect, honor, dignity belongs only to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and His Messenger and mu'minin. The journey of Islam after the call of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. As Islam started with Hazrat Adam, Inna Deena Inda Allah al-Islam. But according to the increase in the mental level and level of understanding of the mankind, the level of the teachings kept on going up. From Adam till Hazrat Nuh, there was no revelation. Only Anbiya used to come. They used to pass on the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to the mankind. At the time of Hazrat Nuh, the mental level of the mankind as a whole reached the point where they needed revelation. So the first revelation was revealed to Hazrat Nuh. After Hazrat Nuh, there were revelations, Tawrat, Zabur, Injil, and in other forms. And after that, there was a line of messengers who used to preach according to those revelations. And the final revelation we find in the form of the Holy Book of Quran. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, when he started the message of Islam with showing his own character to the people of Hijaz, proving to them that I am the truthful and trustworthy one. And after that he called the people and said, if I tell you that there is an army which is going to attack you behind this mountain, will you trust me? Everybody said, yes, you are the most trustworthy and truthful person among us. We will trust you. None of them said that we'll go and check from here because we are on the top of the mountain. We can see if there is an army or not. And everyone said that we will trust you. Now Rasulullah said, then if you trust me, then trust me that there is no Lord but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. La ilaha illallah. There's no Lord. As they heard this word, everybody turned about, left. They started making jokes of Rasulullah. They started passing on remarks against Rasulullah. It wasn't a concern that the Prophet ﷺ was introducing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as their Lord. The main problem was the first portion where Rasulullah was saying there is no Lord. The negation of other lords was a problem for the kuffar. They offered to Rasulullah that if you don't say bad about our lords, we'll accept your Lord also. But accepting the God, our God, Allah, and with other lords, make the people mushrik. This system of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not compatible to any system. It is a complete system, and we have to accept the system as a whole. We can't say that we'll accept a portion of it and then we will be the one believer in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. No. Negation is the first step before acceptance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And acceptance of Allah, although it depends on us, that we have to accept Allah with our own free will. But once we accept Allah with our own free will, then we have to abide by the rules and regulations of Islam. That's compulsory. Acceptance is a free will. It's a free choice. But once we accept, then the whole bundle, the whole package needs to be accepted. We can't say that we'll accept some of it and we'll leave other of it, as it is said in the Holy Book of Quran. Salawat wa Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. What's the time for prayers? I want to... 8:25. Are you sure? Okay, don't worry. We'll read prayers when we finish, inshallah. The message is important, and especially if it's a bit late, don't worry about it. I'll take the burden for that. Salawat wa Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. The journey of Islam started. Journey of Islam starts. And everyone negated the first message of Rasulullah. But the Prophet didn't give up. He continued with passing on the message of Islam to the people. Which people? Who rejected the message of Rasulullah, who made jokes of Rasulullah, who made mockery of the message of Islam. And gradually people started entering the folds of Islam. The suppressed one, the oppressed one, the poor one, the crushed one. They started getting into the folds of Islam. The numbers started increasing. And the kuffar saw that this message, which is challenging our system, it was not a matter of just the kuffar, it was a matter of the system of kufr which they couldn't take. As this was a complete system which was challenging the system of kuffar, they used to grow up, they grew up in that system of kufr. They became the lords of that system of kufr. They became the heads of that system of kufr. And now an orphan from Hijaz is challenging their system. They couldn't take it. The numbers started increasing. 1, 2, 10, 20, 30. And those people were subjected to the most brutal sort of cruelty. None of them went back from the message of Islam. Bilal Habashi, people used to take him, put him on that hot sand. Try it sometime, not here. Try it in Dubai or in hot weathers. When the sand is hot. I was once in Karachi and it was summer days and I just wanted to try how hot is sand. I just took off my shoes. I couldn't put my foot on that sand for 5 seconds. And they used to lay down Bilal there and put heavy stones on top of him. And just they wanted to say, just come back from the message. Don't say La ilaha illallah. You say Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. He didn't took He didn't hide behind taqiyya. Although his life would have been in danger. Hazrat Sumayya, the first martyr lady of the Islam, they took them and tied her to the camels. With 2 camels, she was shattered into 2 pieces. She kept on saying, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. The movement started. When the kuffar saw that this tide of Islam, this system cannot be confronted otherwise, they challenged Islam in the Battle of Badr. 313 overcame an army of 1,000. 1,000 well-trained, well-equipped army of kuffar, and Muslims, number of swords, 6 or 10 swords, 5 or 6 horses. Rest of the people, most of them, some were with spears, some had shields, somebody didn't have anything, they had stones and clubs in their hand to fight the army of kuffar. 313 overcame the army of 1,000. Allah gave them respect. Ayah, Lillahi al-Izza wa li rasulihi wa lil mu'minin. After that, the battle of Uhud. Although people didn't listen to the Prophet, they thought that we are now in number, we are 1,000, it's easy for us. We can make it. You know, in Badr, we were 313, we overcame an army of 1,000. We are now 1,000, so what if they are more than 2,500 or 3,000? Now they were thinking of them, their own power. In first place, they were thinking about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But they had to sacrifice more because they didn't listen to the Prophet. But they did overcome that army of kufr. Then was other battles like Khandaq and other battles. But none of these battles is called Fath Mubin, an open success. Fath Mubin was the one where Mecca was conquered without throwing an arrow, without anybody getting wounded, without killing anyone, and the people, Islamic army just marched into Mecca. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Inna fatahna laka fathan mubina. I gave you an open success over the system of kufr. That was the day when the system of Islam was practically implemented there in Mecca. After 1400 years, today, 1.5 billion Muslims. Engineers, great number of engineers and great engineers in the world you will find among Muslims. Scientists, the Western scientists confirm that behind every scientific invention you will find a Muslim scientist. Knowledge like medicine, algebra, maths and everything, Muslims have played a very basic role in improving the condition and introducing this knowledge to the world. Oil, copper, metals, diamond, gold, you will find them all in the Muslim countries. 55 countries claim that we are Muslim countries. Anything you find, you come across in the Muslim countries, you will find it there. The best weather you will find in the Muslim countries. The best brains you will find among the Muslims. Allah, oh Allah, you never promised us the engineers, the doctors, the scientists, the businessmen, wealth, money, petrodollars, gold, oil. You didn't promise them. Whatever you didn't promise us, we have it. And you promised us honor and dignity and respect. The only thing that's missing is the one that you promised. Am I right or am I wrong? I want to listen from you. I don't want the wah from you, but I want to know that if you are here, I'll go to the next step. Yeah? Am I right or am I wrong? We have got engineers, we have got doctors, we have got money, we have got petrol, we have got diamonds, we have got gold, we have got copper, we have got brains, we have got everything which Allah haven't promised. Allah has promised in Quran, Lillahi al-Izza wa li rasulihi wa lil mu'minin. And only thing that's missing is what Allah has promised us. respect, honor, and dignity we don't have. People from other side of the globe come into the Muslim families and they don't knock at the door. They just push the door open, and the women and the girls and the families, the sanctity of the houses of the Muslim daughters and sisters, they're desecrated. 70 years plus, people living in Palestine are living like refugees in their own land. They're thrown out from their own houses. Nobody's there to help them. See in Afghanistan what's going on? Battle against Islam through Islam. This is the battle. I'm just passing on because we have been discussing these problems before in other lectures. After the conquest of Mecca, the style of battle against Islam changed. Before the conquest of Mecca, there would have been an army of Kufr and army of Islam. They used to fight. It was well-defined army. People knew who is on the Islam side and who is on the side of the Kufr. But after the conquest of Mecca, the style changed. Battle against Islam through Islam, from within. And this ended at that time in the Battle of Karbala. We have got everything. But only thing that's missing is honor, dignity, and respect, and izzah. Keep this in mind. We'll have 3 portions, then we'll join those 3 portions. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created Adam, He said, وَإِذَا سَوَيْتَهُ وَنَفَخْتُ فِيهِ مِنْ رُوحِي فَقَعُوا لَهُ السَّاجِدِينَ. When I make him and when I blow my spirit into him, all the angels were ordered that you should prostrate in front of Adam. Not when I make him, no. When I blow my spirit into him, then you will have to prostrate in front of Adam. Everybody prostrated except Shaitan, and everybody knows the story. We have been listening to that. This is an important factor. That Adam's body will not work that the angels should prostrate in front of him. When Allah said, I blow my spirit doesn't mean a portion of Allah's soul. Allah is the infinite being in the universe. You can't add anything to Allah. You can't separate anything from Allah. When Allah is saying my spirit, that means that this soul, this spirit that we have got possesses the attributes and qualities of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. To a limited extent. It has got a potential of those attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, although we have tied those qualities and they have become rusty. How we take out that rust, that's a different story. This is the second part. Now, Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, after the conquest of Mecca, he is coming to the last pilgrimage, last Hajj. And he's telling everyone, this is the last time I'm with you on Hajj, and I'll depart from you, I'll be separated from you. Hajj is complete. Prophet is going back to Mecca. As he reached the point of Ghadir, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends the second last ayah according to the sequence of revelation. Not according to the sequence of the Holy Book of Quran. According to the sequence of revelation, where the first revelation was about recitation. اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق. That was the first ayah. In Quran, the first ayah is Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. The second last ayah in the sequence of revelation, Ya ayyuha Rasul, balligh ma unzila ilayka min rabbik, wa in lam taf'al fama ballaghta risalata. Ya Rasulullah, O my messenger, balligh, tell the people what has been revealed to you. And if you don't do this, fama ballaghta risalata, you haven't performed the duty of messengership at all. You haven't performed the duty of messengership at all. What is Islam? Anybody asks us what is Islam, we'll tell him, They are usul al-din. We have to have that belief. No taqleed in usul al-din. Tawheed, belief in the Tawheed of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Belief in the adl, justice of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Believe in the Nubuwah of 124,000 messengers, the first one being Hazrat Adam, the last one being Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. And then Imamat, and then the Day of Judgment. Basically this is just two portions. One is Tawheed and one is the Day of Judgment. Everything else is related to Tawheed. Justice of Allah, related to Tawheed. Risala, messengership of Allah, related to Tawheed. And Imamat related to Risalat, and Risalat related to Tawheed. So everything is related to Tawheed. Basically it's Tawheed and the belief on the Day of Judgment. Then there are Furu'at al-Din in Islam. We have to pray, fast, Hajj, Zakat, Khums, Jihad, Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahy anil Munkar. Am I right? This is what we tell people, this is Islam. We have to perform these ibadat. These are spiritual, physical and mental exercises which bring us close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why we say I'm performing Hajj, I am doing fasting, I am praying qurbatan ilallah, for the sake of closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now the question arises that at the point of Ghadir, just take out one point of the Imamat. The Prophet has disclosed to the Muslims about Tawheed, about justice, about Risalat and about Day of Judgment. He had told them about praying, how to pray, how to do wudu, how to fast, how to do Hajj, Zakat, Khums, Jihad, Amr bil Ma'ruf, Nahy anil Munkar, Tawalla and Tabarra. Everything was disclosed to the Muslim community. Yes or no? What do you say? Confused or yes?
Yes.
The messenger had passed on the message. Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala should have said that only one point which is left is the Imamat. So you have performed the duty. For example, say 90% and 10% is incomplete. If you don't say Imamat, you haven't performed 10% of the duties of Islam or prophethood. But Allah is saying, فَمَا بَلَّغْتَ رِسَالَةً. 0. Oh Allah, Almighty you are, but you are just. The Prophet, in his lifetime, he revealed every ayah of the Holy Book of Quran in the 23 long years. And the Prophet is saying, no messenger has been grieved to the extent to which I have been grieved. And you are saying فَمَا بَلَغْتَ رِسَالَةً just because of one point of not telling people about Imamat? Allah, if you should have said that, okay, not 90%. You have performed 50% of the duties and we would have said, okay, that's fine. We'll take the burden, okay, 50%. But that Tawheed, Nubuwwat and Day of Judgment, belief in that, and fasting, prayers, Hajj, Zakat, Khums, Amr bil Ma'ruf, Nahy anil Munkar, everything, that should comprise and make at least 25%. And you should have said we haven't performed 75%. But Allah is saying, فَمَا بَلَغْتَ رِسَالَةً. What is it? Because Imamat is linked to Risalah. And Risalah is linked to Tawheed. And the system of Tawheed and continuity of the system of Tawheed depends on the wilayah of Hazrat Amir al-Mu'minin Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wasalam. The prayers, the fasting, the Hajj, Zakat, Khums, Jihad, Amr bil Ma'ruf, Nahy anil Munkar, Tawalla and Tabarra, everything you make it makes the body of Islam. And the soul in that body is wilayah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is related to the wilayah of Rasulullah and wilayah of Hazrat Amir al-Mu'minin alayhi salatu wasalam. So, if you don't accept the wilayah of Hazrat Amir al-Mu'minin, your prayers will be prayers without soul. Your will be Hajj without soul in it, without spirit in it. You're fasting, you will be hungry from morning till evening, but without soul. It is just like Adam created without a soul. He is not in a position that Allah should allow the angel or order the angels to prostrate in front of Adam until and unless the spirit and soul of him and the attributes are there. Similarly, the ibadat of Islam are just like idols until and unless the soul of wilaya is in there. Salawat bar Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Don't see the clock. I want to complete this. This is a very important issue that we need to talk about today. This is not a majlis, you know. This is a message. And somebody asked me to pass on this message. And I have just laid the initial foundation for that. Now, wilaya of Hazrat Amirul Mu'mineen. The Prophet ﷺ stops the caravans, waits for the people who are left behind to come and join. And the people who have gone forward, they call them back. And then after everyone is there, the Prophet ﷺ holds high the hand of Hazrat Amirul Mu'mineen. And he says, Man kuntu mawlahu wa haza aliyul mawla. Whosoever I am the Lord of or Mawla of, Ali is the Mawla of all those. And before that he asked them, don't have I more authority on yourself than yourselves? Everybody said, yes, Ya Rasulullah, you have more authority on myself than myself. You know, we have got here in offices, we have got handing over and taking over of charge. For example, if I am leaving an office and somebody else is taking over, we have got handover and takeover ceremony. What is Rasulullah saying? From what time the wilaya of Hazrat Amirul Mu'mineen starts? He says, Man kuntu mawlahu fahaza aliyul mawla. What does it mean? What is that time? Because in our handing over and taking over, the time is specified. Such and such date, such and such hour, this person has handed over charge to this person and this person is responsible after that. What is Rasulullah saying about Hazrat Amirul Mu'mineen? From what time the wilaya of Hazrat Amirul Mu'mineen starts? It's a question for everyone. We have been listening to all these majalis for years. We must know. What is the time when the wilaya of Hazrat Amirul Mu'mineen starts?
Since the Nubuwwat starts.
Sorry?
Since the Nubuwwat starts. The Wilayat starts.
Since the Nubuwwat starts. Okay, any other answer?
Since the passing away of the Prophet.
After the passing away of the Prophet ﷺ. Yes? I want answers. About at least 5-6 answers.
If you mean like in a physical way, then obviously after the death of the Prophet. But if you mean in an ideological way or in a spiritual way, in terms of the Spirit of God, then it will be since the start of time.
Or since Adam was...
Yeah.
Question doesn't mean that I want to tell you that you don't know and I'm going to tell you. No. I prepared it. Don't worry. Rasulullah is saying, Man kuntu mawlahu wa haza aliyul mawla. Whosoever I am mawla of, Ali is the mawla. It's not something which is ending and starting. It is a continuity. When Prophet ﷺ is migrating from Medina, from Mecca to Medina, he leaves behind Hazrat Amirul Mu'mineen in his place to return the things which he has taken from others. So he's performing the duty of wilaya in Mecca after the Prophet ﷺ goes to. So if Prophet ﷺ is not present, Amirul Mu'mineen will automatically act as wali of the Muslims. Anta mindi bimanzalati Haruna min Musa. You have got the same relationship with me as Harun had with Musa, except that there is no prophet after me. When the Hazrat Musa went to the Mount of Tur, Hazrat Harun took over the charge. When he came back, the charge ends, then Hazrat Musa is in charge. And here, charge is something when Rasulullah is not present, Hazrat Amirul Mu'mineen is automatically in charge. That I would like to say, that this circle, if you consider it as wilaya of Rasulullah, wilaya of Hazrat Amir al-Mu'mineen is nothing separate from it. It is a portion of the wilaya of Rasulullah. One portion is wilaya of Hazrat Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salatu wassalam. Do you understand that? Is it clear? If this circle, 360 degrees, is the wilaya of Rasulullah, the portion of it, big or small, is the wilaya of Hazrat Amir al-Mu'mineen. It's nothing separate from that. So in reality, if somebody negates the wilaya of Hazrat Amir al-Mu'mineen, he is not negating the wilaya of Hazrat Amir al-Mu'mineen, he is negating Muhammadur Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. The people who say that the Shahwat, we should have Ali and Waliullah separate, we don't need to say separate. Muhammadur Rasulullah, Ali and Waliullah is part and portion of Muhammadur Rasulullah. Muhammadur Rasulullah is incomplete without Ali and Waliullah. That's why Allah is saying, فَمَا بَلَّغْتَ الرِّسَالَةَ, because your risalat will not be complete if you don't introduce the wilaya of Hazrat Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salatu wasalam. Salawat bar Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. That's why Quran is saying, أَتِيُوا اللَّهَ وَأَتِيُوا الرَّسُولَ وَأُولِي الْأَمْرِ مِنْكُمْ. Atiyu, be obedient to. Twice the word atiyu is used. And there are three things which needs to be obeyed. Atiyullah, one, atiyullah. Allah's ita'at is sole, wahdahu la sharik. Wa atiyur rasula wa ulil amri minkum. Two things. The ita'at, obedience of Rasul, and atiyu of ulil amr joined together makes one ita'at. If you are not obedient to ulil amr, that doesn't mean you are not obedient to ulil amr. That means you are not obedient to Rasul. I ask you, get me a glass of water and a cup of tea. You bring a cup of tea, you don't bring water. You haven't obeyed me. So this is the important thing. Now come to the first portion where Allah is saying, Lillahi al-Izzah wa li rasulihi wa lil mu'mineen. When all this was revealed to the people, Allah says, Al-Yawma, today, Akmaltu lakum deenakum. Today I completed your deen. Allah is saying, Lillahi al-Izzah wa li rasulihi wa lil mu'mineen. Honor, dignity and respect belongs to Allah, Rasul and the Mu'min. Mu'min is the one who believes in complete deen, not leaving aside a portion of Muhammad Rasulullah. People, they believed in Allah, they believed in Rasulullah. Then a question arises, why do we say Ali and Waliullah in Azan and Iqamah? If Ali and Waliullah is the part of Muhammad Rasulullah, we don't need to mention Ashhadu anna Ali and Waliullah in Azan and Iqamah. Why do we do that? And all the Maraji, they are saying it's mustahab to say that. It's not wajib. Why do we need to say that? If it's a portion of Muhammad Rasulullah, then say Ashhadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah, that's enough. Because in history, people introduced Muhammad Rasulullah where Ali and Waliullah was separated from Muhammad Rasulullah. They introduced, in reality there should be no Muhammad Rasulullah without Ali and Waliullah. But in history, because of Mulukiyah, because of kingship, because of the rulers of Banu Umayyah and Banu Abbas and others, they introduced Muhammad Rasulullah where Ali and Waliullah was not portion of that, and Ali and Waliullah was left separated. So we need to tell the people that we believe in Muhammad Rasulullah where Ali and Waliullah is also a part of Ashhadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah. And last 5 minutes. Hazrat Amir al-Mu'mineen al-Salam, it said in some narrations that Hazrat Al-Zahra Salam alayha asked Hazrat Amir al-Mu'mineen, why don't you stand for your right and why don't you take your right by force? What did Hazrat Amir al-Mu'mineen said that I will be able to take my right, but then the azan, what you are listening to, Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah, you will not hear this Muhammad Rasulullah. I have to preserve that people should be believing in Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. If Ali would have stood for his right, people would have negated even the messengership of Rasulullah. Hazrat Amir al-Mu'mineen didn't want that. He remained calm. He knew that the next step will be Karbala. The sacrifice of Imam Hussain will be there. Otherwise, there will be no protection of this. Hazrat Amir al-Mu'mineen didn't want that the Ummah should forget Muhammad Rasulullah. At least at some time, theory is preserved. If the practical is forgotten, at some time people will be able to turn that theory into practical again. And in reality, the time passed. People turned the Khilafah into kingship. Rulers, despotic, the rulers who came for Islam in the form of Banu Umayyah and Banu Abbas. And that rulership and kingship and the cruelties of Hujjaj bin Yusuf and their form and their type continued after Karbala. But Hazrat Amir al-Mu'mineen preserved Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. I would like to mention just one portion of a Sunni alim. He said Muslims, they were in power. Even if that came to the Khilafat Usmani in Turkey, the Muslim was still in power. They were making conquest and they were united. Because the personality of Rasulullah was sacred for all the Muslims. Then came the time of Muhammad bin Abdul Wahhab, through which the Western rulers started questioning the personality and tarnishing the personality of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. After that, the Muslims see what happened. Whatever happened, happened after Khilafat Usmani. Although that was a Sunni thing, that wasn't something to do with Wilayah. And now the second portion which has started is about the personality of Hazrat Amir al-Mu'mineen. The Shia power, the followers of Ahlulbayt and Wilayah, they were united. And I've seen that in Pakistan. We just go 30, 40 years back, you will see the power of the followers of Ahlulbayt everywhere in the world. But now, people have started tarnishing the personality of Hazrat Amir al-Mu'mineen from within us. We should say Ali and Waliullah and Tashahud, we should do this, there are two ways to spoil and destroy the reality. You want to take anyone from the right path, either pull him back and throw him down, or push him and throw him down. I am something and I am not something. I am a Maulana, for example, I am not an Ayatullah, I am not a Marja Taqleed, I am not a Mujtahid. Somebody wants to tarnish my personality, they start propagating. Oh, Maulana Musharraf Hussaini is Ayatullah, we can do his Taqleed. What will happen? 80% of people, they will stand up and say, no, he is not an Ayatullah. My personality begets a big question mark. This is what is being done with Hazrat Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wasalam. Why is it being done? Just listen to what Imam Hussain is saying when he leaves Medina for Karbala. He says, إِنَّمَا خَرَجْتُ لِطَلَبِ الْإِصْلَاحِ فِي أُمَّةِ جَدِّي. I'm moving out to cure the ummah of my grandfather and my father. The problem was Yazid. Imam Hussain never mentioned that I am going to confront Yazid. He's saying I am going to cure the ummah. Why? Because ummah was sleeping. Amr bil Ma'ruf and Nahy anil Munkar was not there. Truthfulness and rightfulness, part-time job. Deen and Wilayah of Hazrat Amir al-Mu'mineen is not a part-time job, it's a full-time job. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 to 366 days a year. A second without Wilayah of Amir al-Mu'mineen, when I am not serving the Wilayah of Amir al-Mu'mineen, I am not a Muslim at that time. 1 second, if even 1 second I am without it. 24 hours, the way I drink, the way I eat, the way I live, the way I clothe myself, my outlook, my inlook, my behavior, my attitude, my habits, everything should be according to the vision of Hazrat Amirul Mu'mineen alayhi salatu wasalam. And this is in reality what is needed today. This number is not small. It is a small number. If you take the population of Nottingham, this is a small number. But this is not a small number. If this number turns into the staunch supporters of Wilayah of Hazrat Amirul Mu'mineen, rest assured the message will be spread to the whole of Nottingham. It's enough. But if we take the guidelines from Misa, if we take the guidelines from Hur, if we take the guidelines from Miqdad, Abu Zar and Salman, then it's enough. If we don't do that, do nothing, look busy, everything is fine. Mawla will come, Imam al-Zamana will come, he will make everything right. Oh, then I'll tell, Ya Mawla, I am one of your followers. Followers, and those are in battlefield. Kullu arzin Karbala, kullu yawmin Ashura. My brothers and sisters, we need to turn ourselves. And the best way to commemorate the birth of Hazrat Amirul Mu'mineen is not by cutting cakes. It's by giving life to Ali's teachings in my person, in my body, in my vision, in my thoughts, in my soul, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 to 366 days a year. Anyone who is aged from birth till 80, 90 years old must have Wilayah of Amirul Mu'mineen. And this is a sad story that all those who don't know Wilayah, practically they are following Wilayah. Like at the time of Amir Shah, Hazrat Amirul Mu'mineen said, I won't mention that number, that take 10 of mine and give me one of yours, because they are not on the right path. Even then they are steadfast on their words. I have got the truthfulness and rightfulness. The people are not with me. There's a big question mark. Who passed away, they failed in their test, don't take their name. My test, I will perform. I keep on saying we are exactly past in the era of Kufa, when Aqil was in Kufa. This age is exactly the same time. I need to define with my actions, with my behavior, with my attitude, with my movement, with my thoughts and with my vision. I am in Karbala, or I am in Kufa, or I am with the army of Yazid. There is only two ways now. Three ways. One was the army of Hussein, the second one was the army of Yazid, and third was the silent spectators. Now there will be only two armies. One will be the truthfulness and rightfulness, the others will be the army of Yazid, because this will be the final battle. There won't be any silent spectators, and you can watch that in Syria, in Iraq, in Afghanistan, in Pakistan. No silent spectator. If you are not with them, you are with us. If you are not with us, you are with them. Only two groups we need to define, because the time for the last Hussein to come is close. And the best way to say Ali Waliullah is not with tongue. As Imam Hussein says that the deen of the people is on the tip of their tongues. We need to bring this Ali Waliullah into my body, into my soul, into my vision, and into my thoughts. May Allah, for the sake of Hazrat Amirul Mu'mineen, bless us with His special blessing in implementing that message of Islam in our body, soul, thoughts, in myself, in my home, in my family, in my community, and become a beacon of light for the whole humanity, where we are able to spend set. Tell the world about the message of Wilayah of Hazrat Amirul Mu'mineen. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Salawat bar Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. I apologize for the extra time that I've taken, 15 to 20 minutes. Allah bless you, but the message was important.